Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a Paragon Guide. I am Sylphin. In this video we are taking a look at the math behind Hydroverser in Monolith. Monolith has changed so much, and you know what? I wasn't expecting it to change Hydroverser so much, but oh boy, has it ever. So if you are interested in the math behind Hydroverser, if you are interested in just knowing, is it viable at all? What sort of things make it a good card to have, then this video is for you. So ladies and gentlemen, here it is. It's big, kind of looks intimidating, but it's not too bad. So guys, Hydroverser is an 8-point card that gives you 1 CP of health and 1 CP of mana regen, leaving 6 CP of value to be nebulous. Where is that 6 CP of value? Is it good? Is that actually, does it give you something for that extra 6 CP that just kind of sits there? Well, and that's the whole point of this video. So some few key things that we need to know. We're going to assume here that we are level 15, and our base mana at level 15 ends up being 1232. This is almost twice as much base mana as Monolith for those casters. So this affects Hydroverser so much, and we're going to get into that in a bit. So we have 1232 base mana, and we are level 15. Now, Hydroverser works as giving you 7% of your current mana as damage. So 7% of your current mana, however much that might be after using some abilities, gives you damage. 7% of whatever that is. So here in this chart here, we have cast damage, we have power over on this side, and we have mana on this side. Now, just with equipping Hydroverser with this amount of base mana, 1 CP of mana and 1 CP of damage, we get 94 additional damage. 94 additional damage. That is a lot. 94 additional cast damage right off the bat with 1232 base mana and Hydroverser. That is incredible. Now, what if we go and let's say we have a typical build. Let's just say we have 8 points of mana. Let's say we have 8 points of mana, and we have, let's say, 30 points of cast damage. Let's go all the way down here, and 30 points of cast damage and 8 points of mana gives us 283 additional damage. 283 additional damage. That is absolutely incredible. 180 of it is from mana, or is from damage, sorry. So Hydroverser is actually giving us 103 extra damage. Hydroverser is giving us 103 additional damage. That is absolutely incredible. So we can take another approach. Maybe we're being pretty strange here and we're going for 10 and 10. Maybe we have 10 and 10 additional damage. 10 additional mana, 10 additional damage. 167 additional damage with Hydroverser. 60 of it is coming from the damage that you've added, but 107 of it is coming from Hydroverser. So what are some key implications and trends can we pull out from this data? And here it is. Implication number 1. Hydroverser is worth 14.4 CP of damage at level 15 on its own through your base mana pool. So that 6 CP of nebulous value that is just sitting there, you're not sure exactly what it does, that is it. It's worth 14.4 CP of damage at level 15 on its own through your base mana pool. That is incredible. You get to take 6 CP and turn it into 14.4 while you're at full mana. Incredible. Implication number 2. Hydroverser is worth its CP, though. It's worth that total 8 once you have more than 429 current mana. So, as long as you are a caster and you have more than 429 mana, you are actually gaining more damage through Hydroverser than the CP that it's worth. But if you're under 429 mana, Hydroverser is actually hurting you. Implication number 3. It is beneficial starting only at level 4 to have Hydroverser. At level 4 you have 484 base mana pool, but I certainly wouldn't use it then, because as soon as you use one ability, Hydroverser is actually doing you worse. So I would wait level 8 maybe. I would start putting it, I would maybe start considering Hydroverser, but remember, as long as you have 429 mana, it is worth it. It is worth it. Implication number 5. Each CP of mana is worth only 0.3 CP of damage with Hydroverser. So if you are thinking, hey, well, Hydroverser converts mana into damage, why don't I just keep on adding mana? Well, each CP of mana is only actually worth 0.3 CP of damage with Hydroverser. So if you put 9 CP of mana onto your build and you're like, yeah, damage, it's really only worth 18. It's only worth 3 CP of damage. It's not much. So you have to be careful with wanting to add mana to increase your damage with Hydroverser. It's really more of just utilizing that base mana pool and converting that into damage. Implication number 5, a little bit out of left field, mana regen enables Hydroverser to provide damage over time. Obviously, mana regen gives you back mana, which giving back mana with Hydroverser means giving back damage. So Hydroverser, therefore, is enabled to perform by mana regen over time. So mana regen, there is a component here of mana regen that you need to consider. Now, mana regen. What are some concrete things that we can say? Mana regen is better than mana if you regenerate for more than 100 seconds. That's just mathematically correct. As long as you regenerate your mana for more than 100 seconds, mana regen is better. And number 2, having enough mana regen to keep you topped up so that, you are above 429 mana, but enough mana to provide you with damage come team fights and able to just have enough mana to use abilities for team fights is how the best of both implications can be had. I want damage to be always there, so mana regen to keep my base mana pool up, but also mana to make sure I can actually use my abilities. That is key. Number 3, Hydroverser extracts extra value from your mana pool and any upgraded mana, but only upon that extra mana's consumption. As soon as you use that extra mana, that extra 7% of whatever you're at is gone. It's gone. As soon as you use that mana, it's poof. That 7% of that is gone. It's done. So you have to be careful with relying on the damage from Hydroverser and what level your mana pool is at. You have to be careful. Hydroverser also extracts extra value from upgraded mana regen, but only when that regen is allowed to work longer than 100 seconds. So if you're consistently dying, if you're just not regenerating for that long, if you're not using your abilities every once in a while reliably, it's not going to give you that much value. But mana regen, imagine if you are always at that high, very close to that base mat, just always close to your maximum mana, with even additional mana added onto this, the value is going to be astronomical. I was not expecting Hydroverser, ladies and gentlemen, to be very viable in Monolith at all, given how much mana we burn through with all the cooldowns that are very quick now. I was not anticipating Hydroverser to be powerful at all, but holy crap, is it ever. It's worth twice its weight. What? Insane. I would suggest using Hydroverser for sure if you have the capability of using it, use it. It is crazy. Remember, as long as you are above 429 mana, Hydroverser is paying dividends. If you are under 429 mana, it's hurting you. It's hurting you. So make sure that, I would say, have that mana regen so that you can just stay topped up with your own base mana pool. Sure, add a few points of mana, but I mean, 1500 mana, that is a lot. Put in mana regen so that you can continuously at all times use that value from Hydroverser. There you guys go. Hopefully you found this useful. Hopefully you understand what's going on here. Hopefully I explained it clearly, and hopefully you see the value of Hydroverser. Please like this video if you like it, dislike it if you dislike it, share it with the community, post on Reddit. Please share this. I just want to share my knowledge with the community, and of course, subscribe if you found this useful. If you like the content, please subscribe so I can do it for you in the future. Till next time, like always, stay optimistic and positive.